In this video, I want to show other way of solving problems which Amazon sellers have. Well, this way will solve you problems not only in your business, but also in your private life. I'm talking in this session with Beryl. She's a practitioner. She helps lift limiting beliefs for people, for entrepreneurs, for business owners. And in this session, we will try to explain how subconscious mind might be affecting negative experiences you have in your life, in your business, and how we could work on it and fix it and make sure that tomorrow you wake up and you get a positive experience and everything changes. And it does work. I experienced it myself with similar practitioners like Beryl in the past. That's why I'm bringing this to you, so that I can open up your mind and give a different perspective of solving problems. And as always, if you like what we do on Orange Click, don't forget to click the like button below and subscribe to our channel. Hello Beryl, it's nice to have you here, and today we'll be talking about subconscious minds and how it can affect Amazon sellers' journey and business. So I would like to welcome you here. Hello Beryl.
Hi Augustus, it's so lovely to be here, and it's just such an amazing space to be of service to Amazon sellers who make up a large part of our community and getting bigger and bigger all the time and make an impact on the world.
Yeah, and I invited you to talk about subconscious beliefs which might be causing different issues in Amazon sellers' business. Could you give us an examples what kind of problems might be connected to different beliefs you have in your mind?
Okay, so Amazon sellers have a few general problems. I think they all have. And one of those is their cash flow. Okay, that's an extremely difficult situation to handle, having enough cash flow. Now, if you're in your subconscious, if you've got a belief that there's not enough money to go around, then you'll have difficulty having enough to even start with. And if you have a subconscious belief that money is bad for you, you're going to get rid of it quickly, and you're not going to attract more into your life. And if this is embedded in your subconscious, it's going to be very difficult to be successful. So it's good if you can find those problems.
So yeah, it's important to understand the connection between what's happening in your mind, which you cannot kind of see clearly by yourself by thinking about it, and what you get as a result in your business life or in your private life. So before we go deeper into this, could you a little bit introduce yourself and what's your journey? Like very briefly, how did you decide also to help people in this?
Okay, so my journey really started with a big aha moment when I realized that we actually have a subconscious mind, that you need to know what your subconscious mind is thinking, because your subconscious mind makes up 80% of the decisions you make. Okay? So when I found out in 2013 that I could find out what my subconscious was thinking, and I could find those beliefs, and I could find the ones that didn't serve me, and I could lift them and change them, then I changed my life within months, really. I'd been in a dark hole for many years, actually, and I was always been looking for a way to change my life, to get it where I wanted to go, to be directing my own life. And it was only when I discovered this secret trick, which isn't really secret. I mean, a lot of people have heard about the subconscious mind. A lot of people talk about it. A lot of people teach it, and they teach that the subconscious mind is governing 80% of what you do, even 90%, and you don't even know you've got these beliefs. And finding out that I could exactly find out which beliefs I had, test my body, and then learning how to lift them was the next step. But all of this happened in 2013, and it set me off in a direction where I changed my life single-handedly. Well, it wasn't quite single-handedly, but for a large part it was me. I managed to do it. And then I thought, this is so powerful. Let me help other people. So I started with family and friends, and my family's probably got a bit annoyed with me because I was practicing because it's so amazing. But then through word of mouth, I started my business and started helping people in my community. And from there, by word of mouth and a bit of advertising, it spread right throughout the world. So now I have clients everywhere, all over the world. And mainly my core thing is to find subconscious beliefs for somebody and lift them or retrain them and give them. It's like a computer, the software's got a bug in it. So you want to lift the virus out and reprogram, and off you go. And then you don't have to think about it again. It's just such a clever way of changing your life.
It sounds interesting. Could you give us explanation? What is subconscious mind? I think not everybody understands the power of it, and maybe not everybody is aware of it. Like, could you give us more explanation? What is it?
So the conscious mind is what we have to work with, that we know about. We know we're here, we're doing this, we're doing that. I'm talking to you, you're talking to me. That's all in the conscious, okay? And then you've got programs going on like how to breathe, how must your body work, your circulatory system. These are all governed by the subconscious mind. And in the subconscious mind, you also can't carry everything around in your conscious mind. You haven't got time and space for it. So a lot of your beliefs, a lot of your experiences are stored in your subconscious, okay? And they sort of direct the decisions that you make. So if I give you an example, maybe at 2 you had a tantrum, okay? 2-year-olds have tantrums. And at that time, your mother might have said to you, because she was just at the end of her tether, she said, "You children are awful." Okay, if she said that to you, and at 2, you'd be very impressionable, and it might have been just that you're very sensitive on that issue, and you might have taken that to heart, and it was embedded in your head and in your subconscious. And then you grow up and you can't remember that, but you get this idea that children are awful from somewhere, and you're not sure where it's from, and that colors your interaction. So if it comes to you having children, you might think, "Ooh, I don't know if I want children because they're awful." But you don't consciously think that, but subconsciously your decisions are being made for you. And exactly where you are now is actually the sum total of the subconscious beliefs that you carry. So if you do not like where you are now, the good news is if you find those beliefs and change them, you will then create a better future for yourself.
So it does serve and it doesn't serve us, right? Like, of course, it helps us to breathe, for example, but it might really affect what we experience in our life.
Well, the way I look at it is this. It's like coming with a car with bad parts. A good car, but some of the parts are faulty. If you just find the faulty parts, change them for new ones, you can get a really souped up car and off you go. And what you really want is for your subconscious, because it works automatically. So if you can get the right beliefs sitting in yourself, you don't have to think about those, and you can grapple with more conscious problems like getting your business to flow and giving attention to the information that's out there on how to build a better business and how to build your Amazon sales and that sort of. You can spend time on that rather than wasting time on wondering why you can never have money at the end of the month in order to invest in the next project that you want to do.
Mm-hmm. So how could we access consciously these beliefs in the subconscious?
This is a tricky question, all right? Because, you're walking along and you think, okay, I'm fine. But things don't sit quite well. So, for instance, if you always, in a relationship, always attract the wrong person into your life, like somebody's drunk and disorderly all the time, and you know, this isn't good for me, I shouldn't be having these kind of relationships, but you keep doing it, that's a clue that you've got that belief in your subconscious, okay? Then there are ways that you can actually muscle test. So you can have, for instance, I do a course called Blockbusters where I have lists of beliefs, and the person looks at the belief, they say it out aloud, and they test their body. You can muscle test your body. And this is the way you talk to your subconscious. Because your body responds, and you know it's not your conscious mind making your body move. The subconscious makes it move. And you can get a yes or a no. So you will know, say I have to muscle test myself for I love dogs, for instance. When I'm standing and I move forward, that's a yes for me. Then I know I love dogs subconsciously. In my conscious mind, I might hate them or I might love them, but my subconscious thinks they're fabulous. And if I get a backward movement, that's a no. So you have to learn that technique, which is very easy to learn, and then you can test beliefs. Okay, and you can get lists of beliefs to test. The trouble with that is, once you know you've got the belief, you need to know how to lift it.
Now, I would like to look at the Amazon seller's perspective. So let's say, what can happen? There is maybe someone is constantly having, it's so-called hijackers. It's other sellers which are attacking their product listing, and they are competing with maybe cheaper price or not faulty, but what's the name? False product of false copy of theirs. So there are sometimes, sellers jump in, and maybe it happens all the time for Amazon seller. What kind of belief could it be? Let's say the other sellers which are hijacking their product listing are Chinese. Is it possible that maybe the seller has a belief against China or Chinese people, and if they would access that belief, change it, it might change the...
Yes, it could be. You see, you tend to attract to yourself the things that you believe. Like, for instance, I think, competitiveness, all right? The core belief there is there's not enough for everybody, okay? There's not enough for everybody, therefore I have to have my share, therefore, it's a scarcity belief. So that's a very deep one, and it can come from not just this. It can come from a very deep place. You might have inherited it. For instance, if your parents were brought up in the war years and they had, it was a struggle to get bread and it was a fight for your life to get it, that would be a very big impression on their minds, and it can get translated down to you. And you might think, oh, well, there is enough in the world, but I still feel I have to get as much as I can. And so competition, there's not enough for everybody to go around. So you have this negative belief about your competitors. And instead of looking for what is positive in competitors, maybe you can harness or learn from them or improve your product or everything except undercut the prices, which doesn't help anybody.
So let's say Amazon seller has a lot of competitors. Maybe in the past when they launched the product, there were just few people selling the same product, but now it's getting really difficult for them. So it means that what they are seeing in their business, it's not necessarily like something they cannot change. Maybe they can change by working on their subconscious, right, about their competitors.
Absolutely, absolutely. If your subconscious is clear, okay, if you've got the right programs, then you probably won't have a problem, or you won't see them as a problem, or you will have already improved your product, or you will have gone on to something else, or you would have seen it ahead of time. And so those problems just don't arise. Or you might have those problems, but they won't trigger you so badly. You'll think, okay, there's a lot of people in the space, time to do something new. So you'll feel better about yourself, you'll be more positive, and you will be more proactive. And it may be that it doesn't even affect you because you've worked out how to market your product better to the others, to people who are not that price sensitive. So you'll probably be more creative.
All right. So it's important for Amazon seller to understand that what they experience, especially negative things as well as positive, that it can be or it is most of the time connected to their subconscious beliefs. You said we can try to find those beliefs with a muscle testing. Maybe we don't need to do now practical showing how to do it, but could you give us like few versions? I know that there is one where you are standing straight and then you are leaning, as you said, forward or backward, like yes or no. So people can probably, yeah.
There's several ways of muscle testing, but that's the only one I use. Standing up straight, and you close your eyes and you say out aloud, I like competition. Okay? And then if you go, now it's different for everybody. You can have a different reaction. But for me, I go back for a no and forwards for a yes. You can try this. You can try this at home. You just stand up, close your eyes and say out loud, my name is, and whatever your name is. Okay? So I'd say my name is Beryl, and then I move forwards. But you must know that the body, you just check what your body does itself. So some people go from side to side, some people go around and around, some people feel it in their legs, some people feel they're going up. But after you've been doing it for some time, you usually go forwards and backwards. That's the best way for me, because that's when you know yourself that it's not you, nobody's repeating it.
Yeah, it's interesting. I also tried myself. Like, I think I start usually I saying my name, I lean forward, but people should understand that you just have to relax and body just leans by itself, basically. It's not...
That's right. You mustn't do anything. And sometimes your body won't move. Okay, some people, because they've got certain beliefs, not everybody's like that, and most people can do it, and most people can do it quickly. So it's a lovely thing to do, and it's immediately you can know what your subconscious is thinking.
Let's say we identify or we find out the beliefs which we might have in subconscious, and you use the word reprogramming. It sounds like very technical. Does it really work like that? You can... Reprogramming sounds more like instantly you can change something in subconscious. Is it really working, and how does it work? What kind of techniques are there, or maybe you need to get help from a practitioner?
You can't solve a problem from the same level that you're at. You know that. So you have to go beyond it. And so if you can get into the thesis, you're able to be beyond with the start, and then you can see it and you can change it. So you can either pull the belief out so that it's no longer there, and then you can teach a belief that is more in line with what your seller wants, like he might want to be able to, so maybe he needs the belief that competition is good for him.
I totally believe in this. That's why, of course, I invited you. In the past, I did some sessions, with Theta waves, Theta healing. And in terms of like real examples, there was one weekend, one of my YouTube channels, and was blocked, and I had some problem with as an Amazon buyer with customer support. They didn't want to fulfill their promises which they gave to me, and then I did a Theta healing, and then within 24 hours both problems were fixed with these two corporations. And basically my belief was that I have problems with big companies, with corporations, and another one, I don't remember, it was something maybe about US companies or US people. So you always have these beliefs which might affect like these simple things, but you don't realize that it's easy to fix in some way.
Exactly. And it's such an interesting field, because for me, beliefs are not just from that you don't even know you've got them. You can't possibly know that you've got the ones that really affect you. And so I come from the story of past lives. I come from the story of a soul. And I come from a story of much deeper than that, cellular level, a DNA level, a tribal level, a quantum level. On all these levels, you can find the beginnings of a belief. I think it's pretty unfair, but the way the world's constructed, we come with so many beliefs that just hold us back, and we don't need them anymore. Change them. For me, the quicker you can change it, the quicker you find them, the quicker you change them, then you can get on with living your life and becoming successful at whatever your dream is.
So one way to quickly fix this is maybe to take a session, for example, with you. But could you suggest some long-term activities or some daily activities which people can do in order to maybe change slowly the subconscious beliefs? Maybe meditation helps, or...
There's two ways of reprogramming your Petri dish, as I call it. Your Petri dish is the place in which you live, all right? All the things around you. So the meditation, a guided meditation is one, and visualization. So hopefully in the meditation, you can visualize a different outcome. So maybe you're stressed because your sales, you're not getting the money in, the cash flow is just stuck. Okay, it's just stuck. So you can take 10 minutes just before you go to sleep, where you just close your eyes and relax, and you see yourself as if you're in a river. Okay, imagine you're in a river, on a boat, and the river is just money. It's just tons and tons of money, and you just keep seeing this, and you keep seeing yourself just going with the flow of the money, and keep seeing that. And if you do that regularly for about 10 minutes, you can have fun with it. You can just imagine, oh my word, just look at all these dollar bills, and in amongst the dollar bills, there's silver coins, which are like fish, and you're just rowing over it, and have fun with it, and make it a happy sort of a feeling. And it is one of the most effective ways to actually start changing your belief about the flow of money, your cash flow. You have a more positive feeling about it, and you just reprogramming your cells to be more relaxed, be more open to the fact that there's just so much money, nobody knows what to do with it all. We can all float on it, down to the huge sea of money. And so that's very effective, really. So that's one way I can suggest to people to do that. Other than that, I've got a membership site which is free, where you can where you can see how to muscle test, and there's beliefs there that I actually lift for you, so you can have a look at those and see if you can change them. And if they don't change, then if you've listened to the audio and they've changed, they will have changed, but there's something below that, and you have to find that. Then you need somebody to help you with, say, this belief won't change, I can't change it. Then you need a practitioner to help you lift it and find out where that's coming from. But yes, so if you've got nothing to start with that meditation, start with seeing yourself in a happy space and just feeling it. You have to feel that calm, you feel the flow of the money below you. And I think that's actually a lovely thing to do.
Yeah, I think it's important to get in line with that feeling. Of course, it feels like maybe you're cheating yourself, like imagining lots of money, for example. But in general, it works, right? Like I heard that mind doesn't know when it's visualization and when it's real life.
Exactly. If you have visualized it so intensely, then the mind thinks it's true. Okay. And in fact, that happens to me a lot in my life, is that I've already seen, okay, I want to do something, and I've seen it so clearly in my head. And then I wake up in the morning and I go, now why isn't it there? See? It's been so real to me. It deeply comes, and that's where divine timing also comes in, because sometimes it's not the right time for you to get the money right now, okay? But if you just see it and feel it, it's as if it happened, and the mind doesn't know the difference. Yeah.
So I know that you helped some other e-commerce and online entrepreneurs as well. That's why how we connected. Could you give us an example? Maybe, of course, you don't need to reveal your clients, but how did you help entrepreneurs? Maybe what changed?
Actually, I have one Amazon seller client. He came to me. I got introduced to him, and he was stuck. Nothing he tried was working. He couldn't get his business off the ground. He couldn't find the right products. He just, and coaching and learning as much as he can. He's very, he's always looking for the information from experts, but couldn't get anywhere. And after a few consultations with him, it came out that his background was from a family who were mixed between Russian and German. So he was born in Russia. When he went to Germany, when he was in Russia, his parents were German, but he was born in Russia. So the Russians saw him as German and didn't like him. And then when they moved to Germany, the Germans saw him as a Russian and didn't like him. So he, as a child, had this deep impression that nobody liked him. Okay? And also, his father had very strong beliefs that money was really bad for you. To even think of actually making money, you're evil. Okay? And these things were just deeply embedded in him, and he didn't even know he had them. And he is an entrepreneur. His spirit is entrepreneurial, and he's always been trying to get out of that. So when he got to me and when we lifted those beliefs, suddenly he was able to move. Suddenly he could see the light. Suddenly it didn't stop the hard work. It doesn't stop the hard work. You've got to put in a lot, but it was a lot easier, and he was able to. So he eventually built his business on Amazon, and then he sold it. So that was a good story.
Yeah, that's nice. So do you remember how fast you saw the changes after he took sessions?
The changes, it took him to do that whole process, to build his business and then sell it, okay? And to him it seemed like 100 years, but in retrospect, 5 years isn't that long. But as we know, with Amazon, there are immense hurdles. You have to wait for your product built, and you have to get it shipped, and then it gets stuck. And I mean, his shipping often got stuck, and we just did work about it, and then it would begin to flow again. And then he would have problems getting through to Amazon because they wouldn't answer they shut him down and all of that. So when we did the work, eventually all the knots came out, and just lifting more and more and more beliefs around, like Amazon's a bad energy, okay? And they're all against me, and nobody loves me, and those sort of things. And the interesting thing about the work is that when you do one session, the first session is always lifting the deepest, most important beliefs. So if you never come again, at least the most important beliefs are sorted. But when you come a few times, and it doesn't take a lot, like 2 or 3, you've already made huge shifts. The layers just start to unfold, and you get deeper, and you find out more about yourself and what's holding you back. And at the end of the day, you're able to enjoy your Amazon journey rather than it be a struggle and a fight and a stress. So, and you learn from it.
Yeah, all right. So, as we talked already, you help entrepreneurs and, of course, any kind of people with subconscious beliefs to reprogram them, to change your life with it, to improve it.
Yes, and, I'm all about self-development. Yeah, if you're doing the best you can to be the best you can be, nobody can turn around and say you've wasted your life. They just can't. You're doing what you should be doing.
So what's the best way for people to get in touch with you?
The best way is go on to www.soulcoach.me and book a free discovery call. And you get a 15-minute session with me, and we just unpack People come to me with a problem, like they don't know where they're going to retire, and we find out what comes out from there, and then I give them a bit of guidance, and then if they like it and they want to take it further, then they can book consultations. And then they can also go to soulcoach.me/club, okay, which is the free membership club. They can go there, have a look what's there, and look around and see if it resonates with them.
And in that club, you mentioned that you also explained the muscle testing, right?
Yes, there's a little video there of how to muscle test, and some people can get it, and you can test it because there's a few beliefs there on health, wealth, and happiness. So you can, once you learn to muscle test, you can check the list of say, health beliefs. If you've got them no, it's actually, it's not the health beliefs, it's 101. It's Soul Coach 101. Soul Coach 101 is the 7 beliefs that you really need to have positive in your life. And you can test to see if you've got them, and then you can listen to the audio, and they should have lifted, or they should have changed, or some of them should have changed. And then you can see, oh, this is working.
All right. Yeah, perfect. So people will find the links below in the description, of course. So they are welcome to get in touch with you. It's nice that you're offering 15 minutes discovery call. So basically during these 15 minutes, you will be able to identify some beliefs which if they want to work on with you, they can book an additional session, or they can try to solve it themselves through visualizations long term.
Yes, what I like to do is, in that 15 minutes, I don't like to let anyone go empty-handed. So I will, if they want me to, change something for them that's in their highest and best interest.
Perfect.
Because it doesn't take long, It's very quick. That's what I love about this whole thing, because I'm basically a lazy person. And what I found at the beginning, when I needed to change my subconscious, there's a lot of ways out there, but it means taking up, like 1 hour, 20 minutes of meditation, 20 minutes standing in front of the mirror doing affirmations. By the time you did all those things, you had no day left. And that was and it only works on your conscious mind, and that doesn't help because that's only 10% of you.
All right. Thank you very much, Beryl. As I said earlier, we will put the links below, to explain how people can get in touch with you. And of course, for some people, this might be eye-opening. And I brought Beryl just to show that there are different ways to solve things which are maybe a little bit more spiritual, but and some things are hard to explain, but they work. And I did it myself. I did with other practitioners. I had a session with Beryl, and it helps. So thank you, Beryl, and good luck in your business.
Thank you so much, Augustus, and so much good luck to you and all the Amazon sellers. I wish you the best.
I hope you enjoyed this conversation, and if you want to get in touch with Beryl, check the links below in the description. She will be happy to jump with you on a discovery call and help you with 1 or 2 beliefs, and to identify them and see what you can do with it and how you can improve your life. And now, on a serious note, let's look at the other video which is popular on our channel, where Chris Rawlings shares the A+ content formula, how to make it so that it converts well.